Hi everyone, this is Sarah here. Since we haven't been able to do the early start placement meeting for you just yet, here is a super quick, unprepared, unprofessional selfie video to give you just a little bit of information. So this placement is 30 days long. The first 5 days, we really expect you to be settling into the program, understanding the context, getting to know children, parents, teachers, cooks, admin workers, just getting to know, build relationships with everybody who is there, paying very careful attention to the routines and the protocols, the medical action plans, the documentation processes for injuries, etc. that happen, because when you do your final 3 weeks of full responsibility, you are going to have to be, most likely, leading those routines, filling in those forms, talking to parents, etc. So pay very careful attention in your first 5 days to everything that's happening so that you can do it too. You should also be writing daily observations of children so that you can begin your long-term planning. So write an observation on a child or a group of children that's occurring, analyze that, plan for that, and I suggest doing at least 3 activity ideas, or when I say activity, experience, environment, change to your practice, person you have to speak to, research you have to do. List a couple of ideas for how to support the child to continue to develop that learning, because you need to start layering all this planning as you move towards full responsibility. So get those daily observations done, but that planning is not just one activity on one day. Think long term. Maybe there's one activity for one day, but you want to set up the book corner in a particular way, and that's not going to change just after one day. That's going to stay there. Or you're going to change what's happening in the home corner, in the socio-dramatic play, or in the sandpit. And those things can be long term. And if you're developing a child's skills and dispositions, it's not going to just be done through one activity or one centre in the room. So this is how we get long-term planning, by building up our understanding through these observations. So do that for the first 5 days. Second 5 days, you're doing the same thing, but just getting more and more involved. In the 3rd week, again, quite similar, more and more involved. Make sure that you've got some kind of long-term weekly planning template. Have a look, chat to your mentor about how they do their planning, because every time you write an observation, you should be putting this onto this long-term planning. By the time you get to week 4, when you start taking your full responsibility, you've already got on there little Johnny loves reading, so I'm going to read a story to the children every single day, and I'm going to read 5 books, the same 5 books every day for a week. So you've got them all chosen. They're all on your plan already. So that was one observation. The second observation was these children really love craft, and they are developing their fine motor skills. Here's 10 ideas for developing fine motor skills, and you can put them onto your long-term plan. So we're going to do that for all of week 3 and 4 and 5, and we're going to do this in week 3, but add something more to week 4, and then change it up as I see what happens for week 5. So even though for the first 3 weeks you don't have full responsibility and control, every observation, including your mental observations and the discussions that you have with your mentor, not just the written ones, all of that's building your understanding of the class, every person in it, so that when you take full responsibility for all educational program and practice, you know what these children need, and you've found a time and a spot to do it. You could even, the way that I do my planning, I just have Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and I list all the things that I want to do on those days, who I'm doing it for, the date of the observation that gave me the idea, and the reason why I'm doing that thing. So if I'm making pizza with the children, I also put in why, because making pizza could be about maths, it could be about healthy eating, it could be about relationship building, it could be about discussing gender roles, which the story that I'm thinking about, that's what it was about. It was discussing families and the jobs that we do for each other. Came out of a discussion. Children were painting. They were painting the things that their mums and dads cooked, and how they help out. So from that conversation, I said, well, let's make some pizzas so that we can play that role helping each other. So that goes on to my plan. Make pizzas to discuss family relationships and helping each other. And that's obviously a one-off thing that I did to make pizzas, but that talking about families might then be sing the family song all of week 3. Go to the library, borrow 10 books that have families in them. Make sure they all have different illustrative styles and whatever I've got. So, I'm building that way. Basically, this whole placement, you have to be the teacher. Observe your teacher closely so you can do what your teacher does. It's okay to learn by imitation. And in fact, you haven't got long enough in the service to change any routines. So you need to fit in with what the teacher has already developed when it comes to routines, plannings, etc. Some mentors will say, do whatever you want to do. Anything you want to try, just do it. That actually makes it a little bit hard sometimes. But if that's the case, go ahead. Others will want you to fit into a particular pattern, so do that. Some mentors will just be, you plan, you program any way you want to, but you can imitate their way and learn that way. When you get your own job in your own room, you might then start experimenting a little bit more, trying different things. When it comes to full responsibility, if you're in a room where the teacher is the type of teacher who does everything, all the group times, all the routines, all the transitions, all the observations, all the planning, then that means you're probably going to have to do that for full responsibility and control, providing they're happy to give that to you. Some classrooms work more collaboratively in that every single person does every single thing. Everybody is planning, everybody is implementing, everybody's observing. If you're in one of those environments, then you become a team member, but you also are aware that everything is happening. So if you're in one of those collaborative environments where everybody does everything, you are noticing, okay, the bathroom's being cleaned, okay, the outdoor is set up, okay, the medical action plans are on the wall, the lunch transition is happening at the time that I want it to, the observations are being taken, I've spoken to every staff member and I've collected up their observations and they've told me what they've seen today, I know who's doing what tomorrow. So that's, you've still got full responsibility, but you're sharing the load. So that's also fine. Some teachers will just set back and let you do what you need to do. Others will say, I want you to do this bit and I'll do this bit. And that's fine. Some teachers, obviously we don't just stop our relationships because we have a student teacher in the room. Some teachers will just continue their small group, individual planning, discussing, implementing. And you're going to do that alongside them if you're in that type of environment where everybody's supporting children equally. So you really have to find out the context you're in and how you can fit in there. I encourage you to ask questions. I encourage you to show initiative. If you want to try something, ask if you can do it. If you've got the type of mentor who says, you don't even have to ask, well, go ahead. But you might want to say, if you're worried, look, I've got this idea. This is what I want to do. Do you think it will work? Have I missed anything? Some mentors will want to know everything that you're going to do first. So you will have to say, tomorrow, I'm going to do this and this and this, and I'm going to need that and that. So very, very contextual. Your job to be teacher as researcher, find out what that context is, what these children need from you, how you're going to support them, how your centre plans documents, etc., and fit in with that. I think that's enough to get you going. Natalie has a meeting with you shortly and she'll provide any information. Just make sure you have thoroughly gone over Collaborate.com and the essentials so that you can build up to taking full responsibility and doing everything that a teacher in your placement service does. If you are worried about the relationship that you have with your mentor during your placement, if you're worried that things are not going the way that they should, could you please email EBI Placements to share that concern so that if we need to, we can support you. And you have your lectures, your evening Zooms that will be coming up in the future. So that's another opportunity to talk to a person. And we have the ECE drop-ins with the days, times and links on Collaborate.com. So you can come there and talk about placement if you are just worried that something's not quite right or you want to check something. So make sure you reach out if you are concerned at all. All right. Thanks, everyone. All the best. Good luck.